trust me. You cannot get more money. You don't have any much future for that. But when you learn about what I'm talking, which is Pincus was here, he's a great, great ceramist. Nowadays, a lot of people painting the tools, but I would say 10 or 20%, I would say 30%. Am I right? 30% is a great dentist out there. They're good. They're very good. They pay the bill. You cannot imagine. Now, we're not talking about $100 per crown. We're not talking about $200 per crown. We're talking about the more than $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 per crown. So they will going to pay if you know this kind of concept, which is not very difficult. To me, it's no-brainer, actually. It's more difficult to make whenever I do is a staining, painting, those kind of things. You have to know the philosophy. You have to know what is this tooth exactly, right? So my seminar is kind of more unique than anybody because I don't chasing what's out there. They're already talking about 3D printing, about exocad, 3D shape, right? Digital denture, whatever. To me, digital denture, a lot of people ask me, do you do digital denture? My answer is no. I don't make digital denture. It's very crap. It looks very bad. You cannot sell the good price. So if I do digital denture digitally, I can do kind of a temporary reason for that. Anyway, regarding the color, it's pretty simple. It's a value, hue. So whenever I concentrate zirconia block, especially B&D, I concentrate the value. What is the value? How much you block out the color? You know what I mean? So that's the starting point. So whenever I taking the shade with a patient, and sometimes you cannot find what you're looking for, right? Compared to Vita. We're working all Vita company, right? You guys know that 45 years you dedicated, you pay them, which is nobody can solve the issue. So whenever I see the color, sorry. I was not used to it, so I worked really crazy every day. Probably I worked 10 hours a day to produce the case. I don't concentrate much crown. So this is veneers. Concentrate the two central and then make the certain of the value, but most of the times you cannot make the value, right? So you have to utilize it, what is the value from the original tooth. For example, doctor prepped the teeth, and then we have to find out what colors underneath. And then externally you can cover with white stained, and then you can baking, so you can make that one just like that. Sorry, his color is not that great, but anyway, they try in the mouth. So I got the letter from her. So this is a finer, what I'm looking for. The same thing, the patient, we don't know sometimes, right? Which is most of the times. The problem is whoever pay more, the money, they require more. So my job, I have to figure it out exactly what they want. Sometimes they said, I don't know, I want natural, but I'm trying to figure it out, the external staining compared to Jason teeth. I'm trying to match it up. Right? So people ask me is how can I take it out? I can show you later about kind of little trick, but sometimes I fail. Anyway, so 4 crowns, I have to the painting, then this is a photograph, and then I can see the difference. The prep, the white, good dentine, then I can follow exactly what kind of shape and contour, and then put into the patient's mouth. This is a fundamental. If we don't know the natural teeth, you cannot match natural teeth. Okay, so what I do, the natural teeth, we all, back then, 20 years ago, we learned from the natural teeth. But nowadays, nobody talking about natural teeth, which is great for me, it's bad for them. Right? They don't know how to make that one. So once we figured it out, the natural teeth, what exactly root and emergence profile, contouring, after prepping, what color will be. So my question to you, how can you choose the color? For example, doctor said A2. So you choose A2, right? So you made A2. You send it out to the doctor. Here's my question. What is the difference? You make A2. I made A2. It's all confused. What I want to know is what color from the photo. That would be great. Then I can utilize the another value, which is BND has the beyond, has more translucency. So I can do with the veneers, okay? About 3/10, 4/10 veneer, I can do that. And then if I need a value, I'm using the live. Sometimes I use color block. Anyway, this is the behind the story we should have to know. Long time ago, I made crazy things. I made 6 hours per route. And then I videotape. Long time ago. I was not. I still have this. Okay, so I at the time, I was really not. Anyway, so mimic with the natural teeth so that I can get what I'm talking about the value. So starting here. After fire, looks like I'm a cook, just like bread maker. Whenever I put it into the oven before I coloring or color block, you have to know exact value what you're looking for. Doesn't matter it's mono, doesn't matter veneers, doesn't matter it's layering. So that's the another concept. So you should have to know all the story for that. They have an effect which is I tested quite a bit. They have a pretty good stuff. But kind to me is a little bit really good information here. I just test it and then fire it, which is center. Then I can get some of the color. I really don't recommend this kind of thing because whenever you're using small, sit down, you don't see final color. So that's kind of uncertainty. You can come here. Probably they don't like me, you can sit down here. Right, so what I'm talking about is the internal color. As in and out, lack of room. What are you going to do? Right, in and out. The Mio sent me the kit, so I tested the patient's mouth. And then I utilized their thick paste. It's very good. Sometimes very good, sometimes I don't need it. Sometimes I need it. Whenever I had the cases just like that, and then I can paintings outside like this. But that's my guideline in Jason teeth. You should have to know the hydrated and dehydrated. Some people has the fast hydrated. That meaning you don't see much color, just like vapor, just like cloud. But once you come back to layer saliva, then you can see some color. So that one is another concept, see? Then I can tell. So usually dentists did not give me the room, right? How much you have a room? 5/10, 6/10? You're lucky, maybe 1.5 millimeter facial room I'm talking about, right? Sometimes you have a 2/10 millimeter. But you should have to know the internal color, then we can put it in there. And then not only this, I like the underneath this white color, opaque. I will show you after this. So anyway, this is my concept. Sometimes patient, it's a game anyway, a human game. Dentist send the photo. Sometimes I made a mistake. Sometimes photo is not as good as what I'm looking for. So I fabricate it. It's not right. So patient come back to our laboratory. Of course, I charge them. And then I spend time with the patients. And then here, toward the lingually, I cut it. I'm trying to take it out. Is luck? Probably 60%. 30%, I cannot take it out. Make sense? So I videotape with the iPhone 13 Pro. That's not bad. Okay, you can do that better than nothing. So what I'm talking about this is temporary. Whenever I take it out, you see the color, right? Post-core. Doctors never told me. Then how can I figure it out? Right? There was effect the color. So that's what I'm talking about, my value outside. You see, I need a saliva, then I can get a color back, like this. So those information you should have to check before we go. Here's another trick. I like effect shade, white opaque, number 1. instead of number 2. The difference is number 2 is a little bit weaker. Number 1 is better. Before sintering. Make sense to you? If we see them before sintering. And then this one is the white opaque. I like the really strong white opaque like this. Just like refrigerator white. So I can put it inside. Then I can get the cover. Sometimes we put the tie base area if I have to. Spatially. Then I can add together. And then the other one is the hairs. I put usually 2 times I cover it up because I only have a 2/10 millimeter fascia. So I have to match it up. So that's my trick. No matter what, and sometimes doctors confuse, hey look, I saw the inside has a little ugly white color. So I explained them, I cannot do much about it. I gently sandblast it, I have to cover it. So dentists can utilize what I'm talking about in order to matching the adjacent tooth color. Of course, they have to using the sometimes translucency, sometimes white, sometimes color. That's really helpful, which is dentists never listen to what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is I want to matching the perfectly the color. So Dr. Vargas from New York, so we're working with 1,000 miles different directions. So I can get the better information from the natural teeth. And then he can share with he try into the patient's mouth. How many people see the YouTube? Okay, great. Instagram? All right. Is there any Patreon member? Woo! Come down there so I can buy some beer for you guys. All right? No, I'm not kidding. You know. Anyway, how about Facebook? Wow, everybody watching me. Okay. Anyway, the trying, so I put it in the white crack line. So all about the observation adjacent teeth, right? Then trying to match it, the adjacent teeth. If communicate well with the patient, that'll be great. But if we don't have any communicated with the doctor, unfortunately, you are very mediocre dental lab technician. That's what you're looking for. Just put it in the headset here, and then make the cookie cutter every day. How many you can do? How many? Everybody says, oh, I can do by unit. I say, what? How many you can finish your day? I can finish many. I told you, I don't need a crab, man. I don't need the, the crab crown. I need a good crown. But they have to follow the natural teeth, just like that. For example, surface texture. I put the gold paste for you guys, actually. I don't need it. And then I see the vertical and horizontal line, and the incisor edge has the two, and then at the same time, I coloring just like that. Component, I like the white. I like the blue, dark blue. I like dark gray. I like orange. I like pinkish color. So that was mix and match. That was most of my cook recipe. So then I can apply with the white horizontal line, create a membrane too, subtle. And then I can finish them up with the cases. The important is the texture, which is Dr. Peter Abdur from New Jersey, and the great information. They pulled out the teeth before, after prep the teeth. Wow, right? I love it. I love this video. I told them it was a great job. So they check the pink color. And the natural teeth. So pulled out the teeth, right? Before you saw that. So he sent me this, which is, I love it. This is natural teeth. What did I say? Our goal is trying to matching the natural teeth. So I need the natural teeth here. Okay, of course I have to hydrate it. Then I can see a lot of color here. Then I can mimic it. The only thing is here, gum line. Sometimes small shrink, sometimes, I don't know. I cannot figure it out, that one. Usually 3 months is better. Anyway, that's the before cook, after cook, matching the surface texture, because a lot of people doesn't know it's very important in surface texture. When you put a lot of stain, a lot of glazing, it's not going to match. For example, whenever I see the crown or veneer in my hands and they're too bright, it just reflected, and this is not going to match in the patient's mouth even though you made it perfectly. Why? Too much reflection. So whenever you put it in the patient's mouth and then, ooh, something's not right. So we have to concentrate surface texture, which is temperature. Temperature, glazing temperature, you can check up that one. Anyway, it's lower, we fabricate too. With the enamel, the body. So we cut back a little bit more. Do I need a lot of room? No. I just need a minimum cut back, the 5/10 or 3/10 millimeter, that's about it. I don't need a lot of room. So my technician gave it to me in 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter room. I don't need it unless super elderly patient who drank a lot of wine. Then I see a lot of grayish and pinkish color, and then the low value, then possibly I need more cut back. Until then, I don't need more cut back, because like I said, back to the beginning, I like the value. Value meaning I have to block the natural teeth as much as possible. Then I can create the facial area. And like I said, surface texture, if you think it's too much, using the horico and then paste it and then just make whatever I want to approach it for the shining. Right? Low speed, you can use that one. You can do so many things with the ceramic before glazing. After glazing, kind of too late. After you put it into, whoever give you the luster paste, whatever stain kit, you apply that one, it's too late, because too much is not good. You see the more detail, and also the pink design, probably 2.5, the mixture, they make the better contouring. And then another tools, I utilize that one. So the final QC in the patient's, my left side, then I utilize lateral and central, and then trying to put together, and then I can see the better quality control, and also I videotape, send it to New Jersey. So he saw that, so he's happy, and I'm send it out to the New Jersey, just like directly, right? Anyway, so he sent immediately. I said, okay, just send me just like this. He's hyper just like me. He's just hyper, really. I said, what are you going to do this? He's going to heal or whatever. Anyway, this is our finish in the patient's mouth. The before and after. Now, it's a one implant. Now, I do a lot of implant, as you know that, right? A lot of implant, a lot of ridiculous implant, right? I could make the 4 implant, I have 6 implant. Someone already placed the bad job. Let's put it this way, okay? I really don't want whoever gave me really nice implant position. I do have a lot of competition. You know what they mean? So whoever placed implant really well, and then they hire, I'm talking about dentists, okay? They hire $25 technician, bring to their office, right? And then go to the seminar or printing seminar, right? So they nasty. So they made the prototype. So I'm a doctor, whatever. So they put it in the patient's mouth, and then they made the prototypes. And then what about the zirconia? Copy mill. What they talking copy mill? Someone set up the wax up, right? Or PMMA, they like it. All right, copy. That's what they're talking. So nowadays, I'm talking about, I would say 70%. 70% dentists hire the lab tech. $25, $27. If they're lucky, $30. Maybe $35 per hour. Doesn't matter to me. The problem is, technician said, oh, I have a privilege to work with a dentist. True. Is that true? I said, back to them, what's your goal? I asked them, oh, I want to be a good technician. Oh, you cannot be a good technician. You cannot. Why? You hire by somebody, he doesn't know what he's doing actually about the frame contour, whatever. So whatever he ordered is, so you have to make it. How many days? Every day. So that technique you will get in the future. That's my worry. I told them, if I'm a good friend, I just let you know, this dentist wants money. I'm sorry, I'm really straightforward guy. This dentist wants money. Why? Whenever they do dentist, do you know how much they spend money? Do you know? $500,000 with a headache, homework, whatever. Prosthetics program, right? Another $100,000. So after they graduate, what they looking for? Right? Benjamin. You know the $100 bill? Absolutely. They have to set up the office. How much? Depends on. $300,000 to $500,000 or $1 million. So they hire the technicians. So they give it to them exactly what they want. But here is what I'm talking today. We are talking totally two different shields. All right? One, people are going to say 3D printing, you can painting well, you can make PMMA well, you can nesting really well, design really well, that kind of technique. After that, you make A1. So I call you an A1 technician. The other guy they make the all natural, follow, good contour, coloring shape. That is a very valuable technician. So in the future, you get more money. Whenever you set up your laboratory, you will get more money to the dentist. The dentist is very, very smart. Very, very smart. Let's put it that way. So they know exactly what they're doing. So we have to show them what we can do better. For example, this is one tooth is placed implant in the middle. Is a bad dentist? I don't think so. What can they do? They could make 2 implants, right? No. Why? If they put 2 implants and it's really narrow tooth, it's more ugly. So they place implant the middle, but the lingually. It's very good. This is a very nice job. So my job, I have to make the more thicker here. I just all the time aggravating the exocad, 3D shape, whatever. Whenever I see technician set up, the measurement is different than what I think. Make sense to you? So I thought about 4/10 millimeter, but whenever I got this, it's more than 4/10 millimeter. So I have to try to grinding as much as possible. I would say 4/10 is maximum, then I can make the aesthetic. But that's fine. You know, my designer is a really good job. So I grinding here, so I add here just like that. You see the almost mono? And then build up. So this kind of things that daily I produce it. Depends on the cases. I'm thinking, then I'm trying to share with you guys from the value. I want the value. And then I can apply with a slight dentine, very light, and then couple enamel and pink color. That's it. That's it. All right. So here is the things. Is after that I contouring is one more time pink because pink is a shrink. Regarding the paste meal, it's really good. But probably whenever they're painting guy, I think that I recommend them. But I'm layer guy. So I layers more faster than paint. You know what I mean? So that's my evaluation actually. But it's really good too. Anyway, contouring, finish it, second time. And then doctor sent me, same guy, is John Vargas from New York. And then he shared about the placed implant. So what I approach for, you know, the Jason teeth, it has a lot of enamel. It's not look like Vita color. It's not look like A1, B1, you cannot find it. Right? So we have to utilize more the dentin little enamel overlay, and then we can match it up, just like that. So daily, I mean, it's tough, right? Who's going to like, you guys really love dental laboratory? How many people? I was wondering. You're lucky, man. You're very lucky. Very, very lucky. But sometimes you're really tired, you know. Sometimes you're really bored, right? that we cannot control, right? The dentist in charge with my patients. So patient talking to them, they talk to me, and then we had a little miscommunication between the contour and shape, whatever. But that one is the immediate shot. Not bad, right? Okay. I imitated the Jason tools. It's more shorter. Pink is now it's pushy here. The color is different than I expected. Now there's another weird case. Like I said, all implant facially out. Okay. So multi-MUA, you cannot use it. What are you going to do? That's my job. I'm trying to helping the dentist as much as possible. So we designed it with a open anterior, and then here's the screw retain. And top of that, I'm going to put the another set of a crown too. Okay, so this is try-in, and then I put the coloring, and then here's all opacity test. Usually I do. No, we made a mistake. Sorry. So I want to get the good natural. I mean the proper contour and also value. That's what we made the 4. So here is the what it look like. So what doctor is going to do? They can use the temporary cement is top of that. Okay. That was another from the design. Then we can give them the another solution for eventually is one piece. Okay, it's like this. So our job have to make the better tissue contour in between the tooth. And then here the doctor can put the composite, and then we give them all the time about good soft night guard. I told them all the time you have to wear it, especially nighttime. You have to wear it. Otherwise, sometimes they drop it, or sometimes they're fighting, or sometimes the beer or whatever they're cracking. This is the another unusual case. I don't blame anybody. Right? Whenever I post things, they blame me. They blame my doctor. So I did not put the doctor's name. Okay? To me, this is more reality. Okay? So I'm not those kind of guy. I show them all the time I'm good. I have a good case. So I can show you I'm not that kind of guy. I can show them all the time I have a challenge case. So I can show you how we solve the issue and then problem. The problem is too facially out. You cannot do much about it. So what they're going to do? Probably they place implant from where? The old country, possible? Right? Have you heard about Mexico is more cheaper than America? You know what I mean? Who knows that whenever they went to the Mexico or Cancun, so that dentist give them good price, so they place implants. Right? Possible. Regardless, so now what is the solution? Well, solution they want to make the metal. I said zirconia mono is better, which is the metal and zirconia compared to both. The tone is different. You know, the metal ceramic compared to zirconia ceramic is kind of a little greenish color and also different value. So I choose the monolithic because about the strength. The more funny thing is she sent me the photo, the hairs will wrap it around. Here's my question, how can they clean? Patients love it, right? Love it. But my question, well, I don't know, I have to ask you, I don't know what they're going to do, right? How can they clean in the future? So another case is, here's my trick, like I said, I can see the design of the incisor all the way covered. Whenever doctor said 10 millimeter, right there. 12 millimeter, right there. So I make it really thick. Why? Because I have protection here, protected. So I don't get any chip. But I do need a little bit more facial room, but good alignment. That's the great framework that's a begin start with that one. Then I can make beautiful restoration. I can show you the later. That's my secret. All right, so monolithic is tough. It's tough. I could do that with the monolithic, but then this one is the layer, tissue, finer. Make sense to you? I usually give it to my PowerPoint presentations, my designer, my marketing team. But at these times, I did it myself. So proud of myself. I'm not a good computer guy, Photoshop guy, but I did it, everything. Anyway, maybe that's why it's short here. Anyway, that's my technique I want to share. The one times I added at the same time the tissue and dentin all the way up. I make the first time big and second time with the enamel. And then finer, just like that. We test it without stabilizer, right? Everybody using stabilizer, right? It's work, I would say 50%, 70%. When we had a good position about the implant, then good. But whenever I had a bad angulations, you have put the stabilizer. That's how I would like to share with that when people have a questioning. But this is the final work. Dr. Stuart Stecco in Chicago. Another prosthetist, he's great dentist. He sent me this nice photo, the before and after. Feel free to take the photo. So far, any question? We have 20 minutes left. Okay, same thing, Stuart Stecco cases. No pink tissue. So he pulled out the teeth, set up the teeth, and placed the full mouth zirconia restoration, which is top of the line, which is very, very cool. Because we don't need a pink, we just put it in there. Just like that, and then he took a photo. Same concept, right? And this is what you're looking for, the patient's mouth. Now is a dilemma about the full mouth case is the coloring. I want to brighter than lower teeth, right? I want to brighter than lower teeth. That's why I'm trying to make brighter than lower teeth. That's after they try in the 6 implant, and then you can see it directly. So it doesn't matter the local dentist, they can give it to you over 1,000 mile difference, and then I can get the better information from them, which is we communicate with the internet. So here's my processing. A lot of doctors trying to call here, they want to talk to me, is I never do free consulting. It doesn't matter. I have a top and bottom 12 implant. I would like to talk to Luke. My answer is no. Why? It's a lot of talking. I don't have any your implant. I don't know what kind of implant you place it, right? I don't know how much out. So first things they have to send it out, the implant, STL file, or the impression that we discuss together. So more detail. That's me. So I can show them the CAD/CAM design. I can show them to all different problems. Sometimes the wax try-in. How many people, are you guys all ceramists? Hello, we talking? Ceramist? Okay. Who's the removable guy? Nobody? Okay. So, Oron 4, Oron 5, think about it. Who set up the teeth? Do you know who set up the teeth? Removable technician. Exactly, right? Removable technician's occlusion concept is different, lingualized occlusion, right? Do you know denture setup? Easy. When you look at the denture teeth from all different companies, look at it and size, order it. They already made the color. Wax plate, place it. Just place 12, 14 teeth. Take the bite. Good? Okay. Is it good? All right. Some doctors do PMMA, right? What do you mean PMMA? Provisional, right? Wax trying problem is whenever they try and wax with the teeth, denture teeth, after they try, I have a lot of whole different video in GC. About 2 hours later, I'm going to lecture 11 o'clock. There's a lot of those kind of cases over there. Anyway, denture they set up whenever they bite, the bite is not accurate. Sometimes popped out, sometimes in or outward. So I like the PMMA provisional from digital whatever, print whatever. The problem is, whenever you make the PMMA, it's not one-time shot. Midline is off, canted, size difference. How can you change it? Okay, another printing then. That's fine. That's another option. Anyway, whatever they set up, the printing prototype, so we have to follow that, right? Is that right? Is anybody CAD/CAM designer here? Okay, so whenever you got the prototype, are you happy? Easiest way, just like copy mill. What do you mean copy? Exactly copy, duplicate it, right? But if we think about the central, lateral, canine, premolar, do you know the occlusion concept? Do you know the anterior design? Oh yes, ExoCAD has 100 libraries. I told them, never use it. Why? Beautiful. The problem is one by one, I have to add everything. Black hole here, size is not right, so you add here, you add there. You add here, you add here. You know what doctors want? You know that? Symmetry. Is the same symmetry or are you going to make piano tools? Either one. So those things here, Autumn 4, Autumn 6, they changed the concept to make the better design. I cannot explain about 15 minutes. Anyway, 2016 plan, just like the natural teeth concept, and then finish them up with the zirconia restorations. And then this one is the final laboratory work. It's pretty much the same concept. I don't change much my concept because time is so valuable. I think I'm getting old. Sorry, but I just talked to myself, look, you have a limited. I'm starting 5 a.m., but I finish 5 p.m. I think enough, don't you think? I think enough. 4:45, I'm out. I told them, hey, I'm out. Goodbye, just like that. So Dr. Video sent me the Emilio Carrillo in Chicago. It's a nice guy. So we set up the not only broken teeth, the contour, so all about the value, right? And then you have to utilize the zirconia block color, and then also strength, right? If I have a full mouth cases, I all the time using live is better because I do have a lot of ridiculous cases. Sometimes they push the limit. Make sense to you? They push the limit all the way cliff. But I told them, I'll try. Possibly going to fail. Then we have to do it the different direction. They understand. So I charge them more money for that one. Anyway, it's a tough case. Like I said, the zirconia trying. I would like to share the couple case. This is this is the zirconia, and this one is the chrome cobalt frame. So my job is I have to give them is very delicate on between the tooth, the pink, how much I show, how much I have to grind it. Not only frontal, not only left side, right side. So that one is the designing, then match it up. That one, right? So after I got the metal, using the Datron D5, IMS core, it's still not right. Because the designer and the final contouring is different. Make sense? So we're selling the final product, right? Did I selling the framework? I'm not a milling center. Laboratory guy, I'm sorry, but laboratory guy all the time contact us. You guys, do outsourcing? My answer is no. I don't do it. I'm not helping them because a lot of people does a nice job. Contact them. They will help you. It's not us. Unless it's really good friend, they ask me some. So carbide bar, I have to utilize a little bit more deeper so I can see embrasure area. I have to make the better contouring. And then thin opaque. I know some of the people using the composite, right? I don't like the composite. I don't. If I my tooth, I like the ceramic. So using the chrome cover, this is the metal ceramic is opaque, and then fire it. Like this. So I'm selling. I'm a marketing guy too. Right? So not only explain about what is the behind the story. This guy is from the Virginia, Scott Miller, Virginia, right? So anyway, the concept is the value, like I said. So how can you create the value? And then about knowing about some of the color incisor, and then half incisor too. And then surface texture. And then finish those restorations. After cement, after cementing, like this. So we delivered it to Virginia from the Chicago. Any questions so far? Well, thanks for coming. Yes?
You design of the crowns on top of frame. After frame is done in opaque?
Yes. Yes, after opaque, you have to scan and then design again. Here's another trick. How can you match the zirconia in a composite? Tissue color. Right? It's different. Why? It's two different materials we're talking. Right? Ceramic, you have to baking. Composite denture, you curing, processing. Right? So two different. So here is what we do is to make it more thicker using the gradient. And then trying to match it off. Here's the secret. I talk to dental guy all the time. Do not follow what doctor said, exactly tissue color, using the light tissue for me. Then I can painting. The problem is whenever they do already good tissue color, it did not match with the ceramic. So then I'm puzzling. Because this is one patient, right? One patient. I have to match it off. Anyway, I put the Patreon too. Thank you very much, Patreon members. Now it's over 100 people, right? Love it. Anyway, that's another trick. So you can utilize with the dark pink. Just cover it. And then 1 or 2 times, you can cure it for 5 minutes. That's good. You can get those kinds of information as well. So this is what it looks like. It's not bad, right? So I don't know what reason when they said occlusion, problems, or some doctors say I don't want to zirconia. I got that. Some doctors say I like the zirconia and denture screw retain hybrid acrylic. Understood. But guess what? Zirconia we're going to ruin the acrylic, don't you think? Yes. After 2 years later, if patient's grinding, if not grinding, not a problem. What are you going to do? They have a new pair. So they're looking for peak material. Whew. I tried, but it did not match much. So I developed a chrome cover and the top of the zirconia crown. People ask me, hey, look, why you make 2-piece? Why you 2-piece cement? You know why? I need a tensile strength. Right? If I make the framework and the build up directly, very rigid. So whenever they're grinding, you get the chip and pop out. Do you like it? Do you like chip and crack? Broken? Do you like it? Nobody. Nobody like it. But it's almost no problem. 7-star case, no cracking, even though it's a lot of implant problem. Anyway, failing dentition, doctor's information, and then at the laboratory side, and then follow the tissue contour, and then finish them up, just like that. 6 implant. Same thing. So we're trying to give them the patient comfort from the either wax drying or PMMA. Either PMMA, you print it, or you can make usually what I do, I don't like the tie base. How many people tie base failing? Nobody? Everybody does. Or maybe they don't do it. Everybody. Why? Tie base failing's issue is subgingival, right? They place implant is subgingival area, 6, 7, and then on parallel implant is the failing, right? Or tie base is small and zirconia is this much. Occlusion heating, tie base failing. they keep complaining about the cementation, possible human being error. Maybe my technician did not follow what cementation company said. Maybe that's a possibility. Maybe my employee is upset to me. Maybe he screwed. Possible, everything. But most likely that the problem is the tie base, that's why I correct it. And then I make temporary cylinder, and then place implants. It set up the base setup, and the wax setup, and the quick process, which is then the truth. Make sense? Which one is better? Quick processing is better. Why? Are you using big, huge temporary cylinder? Never going to fail. About tie base. Do you know sometimes patient never come back? After 1.5 years later, my PMMA is falling apart. I'm going to charge you. It's okay. This is provisional. Failing. How much I charge cementation back? $100. I have to clean all garbage, right? Just like I'm a cleaner. Guy, no problem. I clean it. I just cement everything. But you're going to fail too. Anyway, that's the story from the beginning. And then we finished the finals. Not only this, matching the tissue contour color. It's another ridiculous case. We're almost done. And here's a half size, too big. So we welding together. So make all this. To me, this is so ridiculous case. I never seen this patient's mouth like that. Probably this giant guy. And then the mouth is like this. So we make here. Now is a parallelism, we have to make that one. So baking, lower zirconia. Okay? See, the thin is exceptional. You cannot make zirconia like that. So here is the final. Right? And the cementing, the matching it, the final work. Anyway, I'm going to finish my shade guy like this. It's almost there. So I changed the world. That's my dream. That's my last legacy. I'm going to make 1,000 set, and then I can make this good guidance from me, and then you guys can do easily what you can do like that. Everybody wants nice aesthetic, but people don't know aesthetic. What is aesthetics, right? Anyway, 20. It's my wife. I was a little handsome, right? 33 years ago, in 94, it's laboratory. Here's my laboratory setup. So we have a lot of milling machine. The Saturday morning, nobody there. I'm using a lot of milling machines, so I know which one is good for what, which one's bad for what. I know those kinds of things too. So the printing, so usually I print with those model only. I don't printing Nikon, those kinds of things. It doesn't make sense to me. It cannot get much money. And then I do have a lot of sintering from the 3. It's nice sintering furnace as well. Turning back, see? So there's a lot of sandbrush, that's very important. The dead areas I using, it's my spot. I work just crazy. And the removable part. Anyway, I have a more bigger. But thanks for coming. Any question? Any question? Good, I'm good to go. So I'm going to see the seminar too. And if any question, probably I'm available 11 to 12. I'm available after 12 o'clock. So Patreon member, please come by. So I can definitely buy, food for you, no problem. 12 o'clock over there, then I can give you a lot of information too, personally. All right? Thank you very much.